Okay, hello. Alright, I am giving a presentation on the early childhood education methods. So we have the Montessori, the high scope, Reggio Emilia, and the project approach. So first, we're gonna have a little overview of what our slides are gonna look like in the order that I'm gonna talk to them about. So first, the Montessori method. So this is designed to support the natural development of children in a well-prepared and orderly environment. So we're going to hop over to the key principles to explain this a little bit more. So we're very organized. It's independent children. They're self-directed, learning, calm environment. Children are the center of learning. And the respect for children is the foundation, the cornerstone of teaching children. So I'm going to explain this just a little bit more. So when I mean respect for children is creating the cornerstone of teaching them. We're talking about it's fostering a positive and supportive learning environment, and we're promoting emotional security, better communication, and in all, we're creating a safe space for children. We're going to hop into the pros now. So we're encouraging them to have independence and self-discipline. So children are learning at their own pace, they're self-motivated. Then we're going to move on to number 2. So hands-on learning. So experimental learning, real-life activities. So this is experimental. We want them to have their hands-on and showing their learning by experiments and activities. Number 3, social and emotional development. So they're developing these social skills through problem solving and critical thinking skills. Cons. So it is very expensive, so high cost and limited availability. So many of the Montessori schools are private and expensive. Number 2, potential for limited collaboration. So there may not be enough opportunities through collaboration because we're really focusing on their independence, except when we are in our experimental part and hands-on. So this may not suit all children because some may be overwhelmed when they're independent too much. So when they're by themselves, they might like to be with other students and working with them. So other information. So Maria Montessori, who's an Italian physician and educator, is the one who developed this child-centered learning approach, and it's all based on the natural learning. I have my 2 links up here. The second one is high scope. So it's based on play-based learning. Its child-centered curriculum is grounded in research that features active learning. So we're going to hop over to the 5 essential elements, which are by our key principles. So the first one, active learning. So teachers are providing a variety of materials, and they make plans, review activities, and they observe children's interest and determine what they like. So we're just observing, we're providing all the materials for them, and then we're observing and trying to find what do they like, what do they enjoy learning about. So this goes into classroom arrangement. So we're dividing the classroom into different centers. Maybe we're going to have an art center in the corner, a book station, and maybe a dollhouse. And we're kind of sitting back and just looking to see what the children like to play with. What do they enjoy playing with? Do they play with others? Are they more independent? But on these areas, we're making sure that they are labeled, and so we're encouraging them to have self-direction and independence. So we're encouraging them to choose which one they would like to do. So then assessments. So teachers observe, analyze, and record notes about development. Curriculum content. Teachers use key developmental indicators, KDI, and 8 content areas. And then daily routine. Pretty self-explanatory, but teachers are having a predictable sequence of events. So teachers are always have a scheduled out time slots for when they're doing activities, and also sharing this with the parents is a key to getting them involved in their learning as well. So then we have the pros and cons. So pros, we're encouraging to have long-term positive impacts on learning. We want these children to be loving learning because it's strived by them. They're the children are the leaders of that. Child-centered plan, do, review. Pretty self-explanatory there. Child-centered, we want them to do what they want to do. Number 3, supports diverse learners. So different learners in different ways. We want materials. We want be able for them to watch videos, have visuals, maybe reading from a textbook, different ways just to kind of learn there. The cons. So it requires lots of training and openness for staff because they're learning different ways to teach these children. Number 2, training is expensive for the staff. So not only do they requires openness, but the training is expensive for the staff to learn this technique and way. So there's a lack of guidance, structure, and focus. So with the teachers not being there, being the key supporter for this, our children sometimes can get off task or not be in a good structured environment way. So some other information. So John Piaget, his theory of cognitive development plays a little bit of a role into this, and then also Lev Vygotsky's scaffolding, the role of adults supporting children to help them develop and build new skills, is also playing a key role in this approach. These are my 2 links up there, and we'll move on to Reggio Emilia. So her philosophy and practice is that children are active constructors of their own knowledge. So they are encouraging children to take pride in their own learning. So we have some key principles over here on the side that we'll go through and explain. So emergent curriculum. So teachers observe and have discussions with parents and children. The teachers are the researchers or the documenters. So the teachers are gathering information about their growth, development, and we're going to be able to share those with their parents and children so that they know what milestones they are hitting. Part 2, projects. So these are children-led projects, so learning led by the children. It allows teachers to document children's work in progress. So children are doing these projects, teachers are by the side, just looking over and making sure they're staying on track with their learning. Staying on track with their learning and on the right path. So then we have representational development. So children learn and demonstrate their ideas in multiple ways, which builds confidence in their skills. So finding different ways that children can express that they are smart, that they are learning, that they are growing. And it's going to build their confidence because they know what they're talking about, they know what they're learning, but just expressing it in different ways can be difficult for some children. Then we have collaboration. So it strengthens a child's cognitive, social, emotional, language development, and it prioritizes group work. So they have a little collaboration with others, which is going to build everyone together. So they're going to be able to problem solve, go through different situations, and kind of build off each other in this method. So the pros. So it's flexible, hands-on, engaging. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. Flexible, hands-on learning. It's engaging for others, so all the students are engaged in this content because it's something they want to learn. So we're building resilience and a growth mindset. So these children, if they're wanting to learn, they want to grow and learn new content that they are interested in. So then we're also building on lifelong passion for learning. So if they love what they're learning about, we want them to always keep learning and keep growing from that because that's what they like to do because they love the content that they're learning. But the cons, on the other hand, is we're not as structured or the curriculum is not set. And so it's not guided by the teachers. So remember, this is more of a child base. Children are going out there. Children are taking pride in their learning. So it would be difficult for the teacher because they're just kind of off on the side. They're observing the children and looking for that growth. So number 2, it's difficult to show parents immediate results of progress. So we're not taking any assessments or tests in this approach. Teachers are more of just by the side tracking their progress over time. So this can also lead to lacking essential skills of literacy and numbers, because we're not specifically going from a textbook or a curriculum. It gets pretty hard to determine that they're learning these specific skills, because there's not a specific list that we have to follow. Some other information: Loris Malaguzzi is the founder of the Reggio Emilia approach, and then Leila Gandhi is the influential educator who connected the approach internationally, so brought it to different parts of the world. Those are my two links there. And we'll go on to the last one. So the last one is project approach, and so we're based on constructivist end practices. So we're searching for answers to questions based on a topic children are interested in. So we're going to hop over to the key principles, and we have 3 different phases that I'm going to go over. It'll kind of explain this project approach a little bit better. So phase 1 is the beginning. So the teacher introduces a topic that the children are interested in. The children use current understanding to draw and form questions to investigate. So children are picking a topic that they're interested in. The teacher's going to approve that topic and be like, yep, let's learn about it. Then they're going to use some of their understanding. They're going to draw what they know, talk about what they know with others, and then they'll begin this experiment in step 2. So 2, the middle phase. So they're going to begin research, observation, prediction, and experimentation. They're going to conduct field work, maybe going into a certain area to look at this research, and they're going to report, draw, and model new findings that they see. So that's step 2, where they're actually doing the experiment. And then step 3, so children are organizing their findings and sharing their understanding. So they want to know what they learned. They want to know if they've answered that question that they asked in phase 1 in the beginning. We'll move over to the pros now. So pros, we have collaboration with students, negotiating ideas, and combining skills. So we're working together. We're building off each other's ideas. We're in a group doing this experiment. Number 2, inclusivity. So there's a lot of ways for children with delays or other communication needs to get help. So we're very visual, or maybe even like playing videos for these kids. As you can see in this group over here, we're all together in one, working with each other. So that's a big key thing for this approach. So now we go into the cons. So lack of curriculum content. So there's no set benchmarks, and it's really difficult to stay on track because we don't have specific tests that we're going through. And it's difficult to track their academic milestones. So this kind of falls in with number 2, lack of assessment evaluation. So we don't have a curriculum, and we don't have a way to assess them, to know what they're learning. So this one can kind of be hard on that end. Other information. So John Dewey's ideas transferred learning from passive memorization to active participation. So he plays kind of a big role in this approach here. So then we have two links right there. Now we have my choice of the Montessori method. That was one I would prefer in my classroom. So we have child-centered learning, their own drivers of their education. They want to learn through their experiences and at their own pace. Prepared environment, so the classroom is organized, accessible, materials, very organized classroom, which is what I like. I like to be organized, and I like to have things labeled, to know what specific things are, where I'm going at this time. And in all, we're designed to promote independence and focus in this prepared environment. Hands-on experimental learning, so students are using self-corrected materials. They learn through active engagement with others. So we're engaging in experiences with others, with materials that a teacher wouldn't have to be right by their side to help them with. Uninterrupted work periods, so children are picking their own activities and they're able to focus without disruption. So if teachers are constantly picking the activities for the children, they're going to be less motivated to do it because that's not what they want to do. But in this method, we're letting them choose, them be independent on what they want to do. So the teachers are used as a guide. They guide children through individual or small group lessons and observe their progress in that way. We're going to watch a little short video here that
Montessori education is